A little unnerved by the idea of working in a professional studio environment outside of your own home studio? Not sure of the etiquette, what you should do, what you should say or ask or not say or ask? Well, today's guest will answer those questions and more, as well as shed some light on ISDN technology and what he expects to be happening with that technology over the next few years. Stay close. My DeWees Directive is coming up next. Today I'm talking with Mark Zeboski. He is partner and sound designer at ARU Studios, high up in the Wrigley Building on Michigan Avenue, Chicago. If I remember correctly, with a great view overlooking the Chicago River.
Bill, you got to back up. We were there 2 years ago. We just moved.
Are you kidding me?
We're at 625 North Michigan now.
Well, that tells you how. Well, that speaks to the fact that because of technology, and I have ISDN. We do all of our sessions over ISDN, so I haven't even been in your studio. The last time I was there, it was to record a session for Vein Clinics of America. That was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I thought, wow, that everything looks very spiffy and shiny, and
not classic old.
Not classical. Plus, you have a haircut and a tie since the last time I saw you, so that says a lot too. Well, congratulations on your new digs. I did not know that.
Oh, yeah, it was quite the adventure. We had been in the Wrigley Building for like 23 years. So a lot of stuff that was accumulated over that time that didn't make it to the move. But it was a little stressful, but we made it, and then we're in a beautiful space right now.
Well, maybe for the next session that I do with you, maybe I'll just make the drive up and hang out. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, we love the Wrigley Building, but, for a bunch of different reasons, they were not going to talk renegotiation. So we decided to look around the neighborhood, and this space existed, and they were anxious to have a new occupant. And so we were
awesome.
Like, we'll take it.
Again, well, congratulations. That I did not know that. So now, how long have you had ARU?
Well, I've been at ARU for about 20 years.
Okay.
Don Arbuckle and I, we purchased the company in 2007.
Okay. So you've been doing this for a couple of years.
7 years. Yeah, as owners, I've been in the business
for a long time.
Yeah, that would explain some of this gray. Not all of it.
From people like me, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Not you, Bill. You're the perfect voiceover.
Thank you. That was not, I did not pay him ahead of time, or did I, to say that? We'll just leave that question unanswered.
Next time you come up, we'll talk negotiation.
Absolutely. I'll take you to lunch or something.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, I thought this would be a good chance to talk to people, especially newer talent who really haven't had the pleasure of working with somebody like you, be it within a studio environment or even via ISDN from their own studio. Or Source Connect, or whatever the case may be with you or any other studio, and might be a little intimidated. As a matter of fact, I remember my first recording session. It was a number of years back. It was in Columbus, Ohio. But I remember I was pretty darn nervous about going in because I had never done it. I didn't know what the expectations were. I didn't, I just didn't know what to expect and what the interchange interaction might be with the engineer or the client. So I guess my first question for you is what are the most important things for voice talent to be aware of when they step into a studio like yours? Yeah,
I guess one of the more important things is to know that we can be their best friend, right? We are here to help them through the process, especially when they're new to the whole. I mean, it is a different ballgame when you're in here with clients versus working out of your studio. So always don't be afraid to ask any kind of question you have. Some people, they don't want to, move the music stand, or they don't know what the etiquette is, any of that, just ask. That's all. That's a great starting point, I guess.
So is it okay to move the music stand, or should you just always ask?
Music stand is okay. Microphone, mic stand, don't touch that stuff, because that can be, and that might come from if you've been working in your own studio, where you want the microphone adjusted to, but really that's what we're here for. And you don't want to do anything where that microphone falls on the ground or anything like that.
That wouldn't be good.
That'd be bad.
Yeah. So now, aside from anything maybe that I have done wrong, what would be some of the biggest mistakes that other voice talent may have made in working with you? Maybe as just kind of as a warning, say, okay, you wouldn't want to do this.
Okay, I would say, first of all, don't be late. Be on time. And if by chance you are late, say you're sorry. Sometimes people just walk right in and say, oh, and our time is expensive, and that can irk some people. I mean, it doesn't matter to us on the studio side, except for you could delay us further into the day. So be on time. The other thing is, I think when you're anxious, you sometimes forget to introduce yourself and to try to get a handle of who's who in the room. Like, if there's 4 people, who's the writer? Who's the person that's going to be helping me through this production or all that? Who's the client? Who's the account executive and all that stuff? Just common courtesy, introduce yourself. And then on the flip side of that, on the way out, say your goodbyes and stuff, but don't hang out. Don't try to be like a buddy with everybody as well. It's a business, and you don't want to slow down our process. I guess another bad mistake would be to maybe question a read. And if we've put together a select, and maybe, Bill, if you don't like the way you said a single word, but these guys love it. They love it. Don't question it. Let them, because then you're kind of putting them in an awkward situation where you're second guessing their abilities. So that could lead to some weird stuff.
And I'm guessing you probably shouldn't question the copywriting either.
The copywriting, no, yes, that could be trouble. And honestly, that's what we're here for, because I love having input from talent, but for the most part, I would say if you feel like someone's struggling with some copy and you have an idea, some people are going to be open for that, some aren't. Yeah. I think when you're first starting out, you got to gauge it, especially if you don't know the clients in the room.
I remember one of my greatest fears, specific fears about going into a studio, is I was afraid that the language would be some very highly technical foreign language that I had never heard or wouldn't understand. Somebody would say something to me and I would be like, I have no idea what you're saying. Is that the case usually?
No, I think it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. The first timer mistakes, they sometimes want to slate their takes. Don't worry about that. And there's what do we say during a session? 3 in a row. That's pretty obvious what we're looking for, and pickups and all that stuff.
So it's probably not as intimidating as many might think. As a matter of fact, I've found all my experiences, especially working with you and ARU, have just always been, and I say this with all sincerity, not just because you can hear me, I always look forward to it. I enjoy it. For one thing, human interaction is at a premium when you sit in a 3x5 booth like I do all day long.
Right.
And then you take somebody like you, which, you're a very personable, fun, loving kind of guy, and you always make the sessions very easy. So it actually can be a really cool experience if you allow it to be.
Yeah, that's, that is the one. I really do try to make sure that everything is comfortable for the talent. Because, if we can start there, then if you as a talent are comfortable, then you're going to be able to focus on what you're there to do, is do the best creative read that you can. And so if you're not worried about anything else and you're comfortable, there's a good chance that we're going to get there.
And Mark, I just have one final question, and this could lead off into a big thing, and you don't have to go off into a big answer, but the future of ISDN. For people who are sitting, because I know we could talk about that all day, I'm sure, but a lot of talent are thinking, should I invest? Should I not invest? If they haven't invested at this point, is it something that you think, do you see you holding on to it for a long time into the future?
I think we will hold on to it for... I would say a couple years. Okay. The technology, it's not being supported by the phone companies. So they keep raising the rates to try to get people off of that. I'm not for sure, but I know that I've heard of the technologies that we use, like Zephyr,
Yeah.
are going to internet-based platforms, right? And you have that, you have Source Connect, which really over the last couple of years has turned out to be a very solid technology.
Are you using it?
We do have it in
Okay.
here. Yeah, because I mean, we have to have the ability to connect to ISDN, Source Connect. We've used IPDTL,
Right.
and that has gone 50-50. We've done 2 sessions with it, and it went great the first time. Second time, a little bandwidth issues. Whoever knows where that was coming from. But so that's
Yeah.
just the infancy. But that is, I think, the direction of that kind of technology. You won't have to get the expensive ISDN lines coming to your house because it's kind of ridiculous what the price is.
Yeah. Although I tell you, I have heard, like where I'm living, $45 a month service charge. And I've heard some who pay upwards of $250 and more a month.
Right.
So it's insane.
I think that's what it is in Chicago. I mean, I don't know. We kind of get around that issue with a different piece of technology, but
Yeah.
I would not invest in it at all. If you have it and you can afford it and you have clients because that's the most important thing, right? If you
Right.
have a good client that still wants to use that Zephyr that you have, keep going because you don't want to rock that boat.
Right.
But I don't see it lasting too much longer.
Well, I'm asked that question all the time. So I thought coming from somebody such as yourself, that really, I think, provides some great insight. So I appreciate it.
I mean, it's crazy. Even this Skype right now, it
Yeah.
could be, depending on the application, it's going to get better where you might even be able to use this. So
Let's hope. Fingers crossed.
yeah,
Luck of
right.
the Irish, right? It is St. Patrick's Day at the time of this
Wearing
recording.
a green shirt and a green tie.
All right, good deal.
That's for you, Bill.
I appreciate it. Mark Zeboski, partner sound designer, ARU Studio Chicago. Mark, always a pleasure talking with you. I sure appreciate it.
Great. Thank you, Bill.